Hey, Julie.
Hi.
Yeah. Yeah, so this is the first time we're doing this, and I'm not even sure how to set up like what we
Yeah.
do. Yeah, so Martin Rosberg is here in my barn at my house.
I feel
So
this advantage here. I'm so jealous of you
it's
guys,
funny
right?
because I feel like I'm interviewing you in a weird way because I'm used to talking to people through the.
Well, remember you're not.
Yeah, hey. So Martin is here. He was passing through Connecticut, which is like you were giving. What were you doing exactly? Why don't you explain?
I was teaching cheesemaker, natural cheesemaker,
Yeah, where?
in a farm in Cornwall.
What's it called?
Colts, Colts.
Colts. Yeah, you sent me. You were there. You don't remember the Colts.
Well, we never heard the name. We just making cheese.
Coltsfoot Valley Farm.
Yeah, it's not that easy.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Coltsfoot Valley Farm.
Hmm.
In Cornwall, Connecticut.
Yeah,
Okay.
and they're starting a new dairy there, and they wanted me to come over and help them out and teach a little bit. So that's what I did.
So you taught how many classes?
I did 2 classes and one tasting.
Okay. And you brought cheeses from
Yeah.
Uruguay.
Yeah.
Was it hard to get them in to the
Oh,
US?
just declare them, and they come
Yeah.
vacuum seal. It's okay.
Okay.
Actually, they always ask, "Is it just cheese?"
Yeah.
I reply, "What do you mean just cheese? This is cheese."
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
It's just cheese.
All
That
right.
tells a lot of how people say cheese, I guess, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I guess they're just worried about charcuterie and meat mostly.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
That's
Yes.
the thing.
Yeah, okay.
So when they say, you think when they say just cheese, is we are lacking a main theme here?
No, I think they really worry about beef because it can carry way more diseases and also fruits. So cheese is something that is not high of a dangerous category for them. So they're
In
okay.
terms of spreading
It's
disease.
spread disease.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
So
Okay. Okay.
fruits can bring
Yeah.
bugs and stuff.
Yeah, okay. I didn't know that. Yeah.
Hmm.
So how were the classes?
Very good, very good. Yeah, it was fun. You have to you go to someone else's dairy, and you have different equipment and different milk, and you have to adapt everything to their
Yeah.
place. And it was fun. It was good. Yeah,
Okay. Cool. And the people were excited.
it was super
about it.
excited. We had people from New York and from the area too.
Okay. And were they there specifically because of natural cheese making, or was it just
Some of them were,
okay?
yeah, some of them were. And then the rest of the days I've been just making cheese with Tony,
Mhm. So
cheese
what?
maker there.
Yeah. So they're just starting their dairy.
Yes,
Is it hard to start a dairy?
very.
Like a small dairy, especially.
Yeah.
Like they're all disappearing across
Yes.
the U.S. at least. I don't know about.
Especially if you have your own cattle that they
Yeah.
have, it's very hard because you need to learn how to manage your cattle and
Yeah.
have a place for them to live in the winter. It's,
Right.
and then figure out how you're going to make cheeses every day. If you make natural cheeses,
Yeah.
high quality cheeses are made every day. So you need to figure that out, how
Okay.
that works into the schedule of the farm.
Uh huh.
So it's not that easy. For them.
Okay. What about these people taking the classes? What are they? What kind of cheeses are you teaching to me?
We taught the classic Alpine technique.
Mm-hmm.
So like for Comté style or
Okay.
something like that. And the blue cheese that we make
Okay.
in Uruguay.
These are things people can make in their house, or do they
Yeah.
need like a barn or a farm, or
They can make it at home
okay,
with a small scale, no problem.
just a
At a
small.
small scale, yeah. They just need good fresh milk.
So you just need access to raw milk.
Yeah. So the people in this valley could get the
Yeah.
milk from this dairy.
Okay.
And now in this area is full of access. I mean, fresh raw milk
Right.
is very common. I've seen it
Yeah.
in many places.
Well, I think we just happened to drive through raw milk
Country.
country. Yeah, we passed like 4 places that said like raw milk, signs. I don't see that where I live here. Like
Yeah.
never, no,
Not really?
no, never.
Yeah.
I thought it was,
Okay.
I think Connecticut is quite common to sell.
Okay, all right. I didn't know that. It's cool. So I could make raw milk cheeses here,
Absolutely.
like natural cheeses.
Yes.
But I'm curious of that, how interested people are in doing this? What is your main audience? Because one thing is to the gastronomic aspect of it and how to pair cheeses and how to eat them and how to appreciate them and get to know them. A different level of interest is I want to have my own cheese making domestic thing. I wonder who is interested in that. That's
Well, it's a variety of characters. So we usually get some chefs that
uh-huh.
want to know how cheese is made to serve it better and also to make some of their own sometimes.
Yeah.
We have cheese fanatics they can't get the cheese they want. I mean, we all want a very good camembert, right?
Okay.
Raw milk camembert. Well, you cannot have that in the US unless you make it for yourself.
Ah.
If it's not 60 days old, you cannot sell it.
Ah.
No. So
So
if you
I'll
make
make
your
my
own, it's legal to make your own. It's just illegal to sell it.
Okay.
So people come and learn about that. In Latin America, I get a lot of people just trying to learn how to make raw milk cheeses because they're even less common over there.
ah.
Mostly it's people that travel, they've been abroad, they've tried best cheeses in France and Italy and Spain, and they just want to make them. And then you also have cheesemakers that want to transition into natural cheesemaking, which is the next big thing
Uh-huh.
for cheese.
Yeah.
Okay, it's for wine now, natural wine, and it was for bread a little bit back. Now it's natural ways of fermenting coffee before you toast it. So it's a variety of people.
Yeah. Different missions,
So
objectives.
explain what is natural cheese making.
Sure.
Like how is it different from
Um,
standard cheese
so
making?
human beings have been making cheese for over 8,000 years.
Okay.
So it's a very old tradition for us, older than religions, any religion, for example.
Hmm.
And during this time, we developed all these ways of making cheese that were all natural. So they work with the same ferments present in the milk, same bacteria present in the milk.
Mhm.
So the ferments came just from the milk, and they were usually on the recipe the recipients where they make the cheese, just present there, as they milked every day. They were managing like a sourdough of milk in that surface. But 150 years ago, everything changed. We got the labs, we started pasteurizing, and we selected different bacteria to make different cheeses.
Okay.
So the flavors of the cheeses you can buy now are commercially available. Most of them come from a bacteria that is developed to give them that flavor. It's not the flavor of the milk or the natural ferments.
Okay.
So natural cheese making is making cheese the way they were made for 8,000 years before the modernization of cheese making came along. So we work with fresh milk that has to be still warm, and then natural ferments that we keep, like we keep a sourdough but with milk, the ferments just from the milk.
Okay.
So and then rennet and salt. That's it.
Okay.
And with just those ingredients, you can make pretty much any cheese you know.
Okay.
And they taste more of the old ways
Got it.
than the old cheeses how they were made.
Where do you get like a natural starter like that? Like,
You can start your own.
okay.
Yeah.
How would you do that with cheese? Like,
Well, the same way you start a sourdough starter. You instead of using flour and water, you use milk. So you get raw milk, and you let it ferment for 48 hours until it curdles. Because the original ferments are present in the milk. They're there for the babies to help them digest the milk. And once you have that, you start a feeding process like a sourdough for a few days until it's strong enough to make a controlled fermentation of the milk when you make it cheese.
okay.
So and then you can use it. You can use that or the whey from the cheese to keep on the fermentation going.
Okay.
But I'm guessing you are selective about the milk you use to start with, right?
Yeah, it has to be good milk from healthy animals,
Yeah.
and mainly has to be warm still from the udder,
Oh.
because that's the highest quality of milk. I mean, you have almost no bacteria in the milk at that time, and when time passes, you get more and more bacteria development in the milk.
External.
But
Yeah.
even if you cool it down, there's certain bacteria that develop in cold weather, so in the cold environment. So Listeria and Escherichia coli still develop in the cold environment.
Uh-huh.
So you need it fresh, fresh, fresh. That's how the best cheeses in the world are made. Like the
Yeah.
Sardinians or the
Uh-huh.
Beaufort, the Bleu de Tarmignan. All these really expensive French cheeses are made with the freshest milk possible.
So how fresh does that have to be? Like how quickly does it cool down? Like
Well, we make cheese while we are still milking. So we get the milk
okay,
well that we're making.
okay,
We just add the starter and the rennet and we make the cheese
all
right
right,
away. So you don't let it cool at all.
okay,
And that way you don't lose any of the good stuff in there.
okay. Now I was just thinking, like, yeah, maybe I could just drive to Connecticut and buy the raw milk from those dairies.
You can.
But would it be too cold by the time I got here? You know, it's an
It
hour away.
It won't be too cold because you can add your starters when you get there.
Okay.
So it starts the fermentation on the way. And when you get here, you
Okay.
just warm it up a little bit and
Okay.
you add the rennet
Yeah,
and
okay.
the
Okay.
cheese. It won't affect the make. And it won't
Alright.
make a safe cheese because it
Alright.
has been fermenting for a couple of hours.
But I'd have to, because I'm assuming what they're selling, all these signs on the side of the road, it's not straight out of the oven. You know?
No,
It's like I'm not gonna like. It's not like cooked
You
to
need to-
order.
no.
Like, you know, like
You need to arrange it well.
I don't like pull up and be like I'd like some raw milk and then just squeeze it out.
No.
You know? It's like-
No, you can always buy raw milk and make it out of that.
Yeah.
It won't be as good if you want
Okay.
it.
Okay. All right. Well,
How I mean, you made all this journey yourself. Can you tell us about that? Because you went through the whole thing that you are teaching now.
Yeah. Basically, I live in a farm, and I had worked in restaurant business many years in Europe, so I tasted some of the best cheeses in the world over there when I was
Mhm.
young. And I moved back to South America, and I really missed the cheeses. So one winter, whole winter in the farm where I would live, I just said, "Well, what can I do?" And I really said, "Well, I want to learn how to make cheese because I miss the cheeses I had when I was living in Europe." And there's no way I can get them. So I just bought the books that looked more interesting, most interesting about cheese, and I bought them and started reading them. Amongst them, there was David Asher's book, The Art of Natural Cheesemaking, and he teaches in the book how to make natural cheeses. So I started just buying 4 milliliters of raw milk and making 2 little camemberts. And I was lucky enough to have a couple of nice cheeses in the beginning. So I knew it was possible to make nice cheeses. And then I started just developing cheese making for me and my family, basically,
Mhm. Yeah.
until the pandemic. And then we just built the dairy and we started making cheese at a bigger scale, still a tiny scale, but bigger than what it was.
Yeah.
And we developed all the range of cheeses we're making now, which is more than 20 different cheeses.
Hmm.
So what cheeses are there now? Because
Well,
when you started with just camembert.
yeah, so just with camembert, which is the thing that is
Yeah.
the most.
Yeah.
So now we make camembert, of course. We also make lactic cheeses, like
Mhm.
Saint-Marzana, Epoisse. We make mature lactic cheeses that are not common in Europe. But we develop some. We make Alpine cheeses in different styles, so
Mhm.
more like a Comté and more like a Parmigiano Reggiano.
Okay.
We make English style cheeses, cheddar, Wensleydale. We make blue cheeses,
Mhm.
both like the Bleu de Tarmignan style
Mhm.
and the French style, more like a Roquefort, but
Mm-hmm.
cow's milk. With provolas, caciocavallo.
Okay.
We make a
And,
bunch.
and these are all going where? Like where are you selling these?
I have a little club in Montevideo,
Okay.
about 35 to 40 people a month. I send them like boxes. I actually bring the boxes to Montevideo.
Mm-hmm.
Go to a friend who has a bar. People come to the bar,
And it's like
have
a
a beer,
cheese.
take the cheese box.
Uruguay's so great, man. Like
Perfect.
I was just talking to him before this. Like I could move to Uruguay. Like
That's very
it's so not like politically it's still stable or is it?
Yeah, very.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean,
Economically too.
I mean,
Yeah. Right.
compared to what is happening in the rest of the world,
Yeah. The rest of the world, like, fuck,
one of
like,
the most civil places right now. So yes, I'll
Yeah,
say
we
yes.
just had to change the government and
Yeah.
nothing really changes much,
Right.
which is
Yeah.
a good thing, I think.
yeah.
New
But it's like the
news.
only place. And
Yeah.
Latin
exactly.
America is good.
Can we go?
Yes, yes, you're welcome. It's an open country. We welcome people. So
Are
What's
you
the
are
fish?
you exploring or have you explored with Uruguayan cheeses or Argentinian cheeses or other South
well,
American?
not so much. I mean, Uruguayan and Argentine cheeses are just developments of European cheese. They
Yeah.
all come from the same European culture.
Uh-huh.
And I just don't want to make the same cheese the industry is making.
Yeah.
I hate being compared to cheeses, industrial cheeses, because it's like they're so different in the end. When I make camembert, I say, well, this is not just camembert. This is an old ways camembert, because now the camembert is like a fresh cheese that they have some fungus on top, and that's it. It's really fast to go into market, so it's very different to the
Hmm.
classical old antique camembert. So I just try not to do whatever else everyone is doing. I
Yeah.
think my Alpine style a little bit more common to semi-hard cheeses from Uruguay or Argentina.
Hmm.
But the rest of it is like very different to most cheeses in the area. Yeah,
Yeah. Did people tell you about paipa cheese in Colombia?
yeah,
Right.
I tried it. Yeah, I tried it. It's nice, nice. I like it. Colombian cheeses are really nice. I like
Is it not overrated?
It's a simple cheese. Most cheeses in Colombia and the whole region are simple because
Exactly. Okay.
cheeses
Yeah.
develop on the needs of the dairy farmers
Yes.
community.
Yeah.
And it's like, the hardest cheeses were developed in the mountains because you need the protein in the winter. You have no milk, but in Colombia you have milk all year round. You don't
Yeah.
need the hard cheese, so they're all fresh cheeses, more or less matured for short terms of time.
Yeah, I think it's more because it's our only semi-mature cheese, so I think that's why. But it's also there is a point in how locally made it is. The different communities that are doing the terroir thing. I think there is a point about that with the milk they use and the specific flavor of the region. But yeah, I always wonder about that, like in international standards, how good it really is. It tastes good. It's special, but uh,
Yeah, it's a simple cheese. I mean, it's not. I might find that young French cheeses are not. Most of the flavor in the cheese comes from the bacteria, the fungus, and the yeasts developing in time. So if you have a fresh cheese that's just a couple of weeks old or a month old, you need more time to develop stronger flavors.
yeah,
But
yeah,
nothing. I mean, not all cheese has to be very strong in flavor, but the reason why I get called from Colombia when there 3 times to teach cheese making is because they want to learn how to make these European cheeses.
yes, yeah,
Culturally, they were lost there because there was no need to make them.
Mhm.
yeah. And is there? I mean, all the process of how the bacteria develop, or I don't know, they just change during the process. Is it true that they are more digestive? Because I have noticed myself that because I haven't lived in Colombia for years, I eat less fresh cheese. Now I eat more mature cheese. And I notice I have less tolerance to fresh cheeses. They're heavy for me now. I
Well,
wonder.
fresh cheeses have a lot of lactose.
Oh, that's
The
why.
lactose is the sugars of the milk, and when you age a cheese, lactose goes down and down and down because it keeps
Mm,
on converting into
okay.
lactic acid. So if you eat a very mature cheese, a 2-year-old cheese, it has no lactose at all.
Mm.
So
So is that
there's there.
mm,
That's the main thing. Um, so more mature cheeses are going to be easier to digest. Yeah,
easier? Yeah.
yeah.
Huh. Well,
Natural cheese making, what we do when we make cheeses, we copy the same process that we as babies do with our mother's milk. So all of us are cheesemakers in the beginning. We take our mother's milk and in our stomach, we acidify it, we curdle it with our own enzyme, and then we make cheese out of it to assimilate it better. And this is the same process we copy when we make natural cheese, except that we ferment it to get it acidified.
You
We
know,
use the same enzyme that we use as babies, and all mammals use to make cheese of the mother's milk. And
uh-huh.
we cut the curds like our stomach cuts the curds to make
Hmm.
cheese, and we take the whey off, and we. So when you eat in a good cheese, you eat in a pre-digested milk.
Hmm.
Okay.
That's really good for you. It's like
Yeah.
we seal it really well. The milk we can't because we cannot curdle the milk in our stomachs anymore. We're adults, we're not babies.
Okay.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Well, there is something about your project too, and I like to highlight that because it's such a good example of how something can develop organically, and that shows in the ways you talk about it. For me, it's such a good example that of a good use of social media. It's if it's not my favorite Instagram page, I don't know which one is, because seriously, it feels so genuine. It's like you forget you are in social media when when I see your videos. It's educative, it's fun, it's provocative, because it looks so good. So I know you don't have a strategy for this, but I just it's such a positive example of it's possible. It's possible to do this if you have an honest, organic project that has grown according to values, a setting. It's coherent, and I
Yeah.
love that. It's
Thank you.
great.
Thank you. I think I did a good job showing my process of learning how to make cheese. I've
Yeah.
been making cheese just for 8 years now. I know Nick from, I don't know, 20 years almost now. And I wasn't making cheese when I met him. But I
Yeah,
showed.
like you should have seen him when I met him. Like he wore suits and things.
I, I was a businessman, he said.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, I managed hotels and stuff.
Ah,
So I quit everything. I just
yeah.
make cheese now. But I think part of the process of developing a good community is showing your learning process,
Yes.
showing how things go well and they don't go so well, and helping people out with their own projects. I get tons of messages from cheesemakers saying, "Well, this isn't working. What can I do better?" Well, just be generous and help them out, and
Yeah.
try to share all your successes and also your mistakes, because that's good for everyone.
Yeah. It is magnetic. There is, but I think it's this. I don't know. It's so it feels so simple and natural as the cheese is, right? What about the breads that you show? Because those are my favorite breads too. The thin ones, the European ones that are like, and the pairing with the right cheese and the right jam is like it's heaven.
Yeah,
Do you buy them or do you make them?
before making cheese, I baked breads. I was a baker before I was a cheesemaker.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
By a baker, you don't mean like at a bakery. You
no,
just
no,
mean
I
like
had
at a
a
house.
farm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. I built a wood fire oven,
Mhm.
around Scott wood fire oven
Ah,
to make the
okay.
bread. I made sourdoughs and different breads, and we still make breads every week at the farm. I bake breads at the farm for our guests. They can rent the houses.
Uh-huh.
We also have home baked breads and cheeses. And the thing with breads is, up to a point that I started getting bored because I had the bread I liked. I didn't want to create anything else. And
Hmm.
cheese gives you the chance to really create with the same ingredient, making all these different cheeses. It's just amazing.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think there's nothing like it. There's nothing like it.
Huh.
What's the bread that you like now? Like,
I like it so slowly fermented, very little yeast,
okay,
over 2 days slowly fermentation.
2 days
Yeah,
fermentation.
yeah,
In
2 day
the
fermentation,
in the
tiny bit of yeast,
okay.
white bread, and I like my sourdough rye breads
Okay.
with,
Mm.
with
Gosh,
no sugars and no yeast.
Just
Just
the
100%
best.
rye or
yeah,
okay.
The best.
sometimes with some seeds in them.
Yeah,
But that sourdough also in 2 days,
yeah.
2 days of fermentation
Uh-huh.
develops a nice acidity
Ah,
for rye.
Okay.
perfect.
I really like those two. Those are my breads right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm
Yeah.
working with a bakery in Long Island on a book, but they have a pickled rye bread, so it has like little bits of pickles in it.
Nice.
So it's amazing. It's one of the
Never
best.
thought of it.
It's I think it's something rare, but it's something
Wh-
original. But yeah, it's so good.
Nice,
Yeah.
nice. Yeah, I use quite a bit of seeds for those. I use like now I'm doing. I
Yeah.
did toasted hazelnuts,
Okay.
the rye bread.
On the outside.
No, on the
Oh,
inside,
and the
just
inside.
mixed.
Okay. Okay.
And then you toast it.
Yeah.
It has all this
Yeah.
it smells of the hazelnut. It's
Yeah.
super nice. But I don't know. I'm more and more into
So
rye
you
bread.
know how to make bread, cheese, and jam. You'll survive everywhere, basically.
Yes, yes,
You're
yes.
pretty much you'll be okay.
Yeah.
Where did you get those rye crackers? Thin rye
Well,
crackers.
I'm making them now with rye bread, so we cut them really thin, and then
Yeah.
we bake them in the oven, dry them. They're super nice. Yeah,
Yeah.
super tasty. So
Okay.
that's half of what I'm eating right now. When I'm alone at home, it's just a piece of that with some cheese, and I'm done. It's
Yeah. Exactly. You don't
dinner,
need.
lunch, or breakfast. I don't care.
Yeah.
I love that.
Coffee maybe or
Coffee,
mate
yeah, and wine sometimes too. Yeah.
or what? Do you drink mate?
No, I did for a long time, but I started having too much acidity in my
Oh, yeah. It's
stomach, so I
acid.
stopped. I
Yeah.
drank too much when I drank. It was like a liter. It just wasn't good. I can't really pace myself, so I stopped.
In which state of the process do you taste things? Like, do you actually taste the milk and then
You taste in every bit of a process.
everything?
I mean, our taste buds are a great way to detect problems with cheese making,
Ah,
the cheese making. So from the starter to the milk to the curds as they go acidifying, you can taste it, and we do. Yeah, we do. We also test acidity and other things, but we taste it very, very often. And then once the cheese is in the aging process, we also get a knife, special knife in and
Mhm.
taste it to
mm,
decide which cheeses are going to mature for longer, for the longest, and which are going to have the youngest. Yeah,
hmm.
so it's a lot of tasting.
Yeah. So you haven't been, Nick, yet?
Where?
Well, not since. No, I've been to his farm, but it was when you first moved there. I think like
Yeah,
within a year or two. So that was like what? What? How long have you been there?
14 years.
Yeah, so it's probably like. Yeah, I want to say it was like 10, 11 years ago.
Yeah,
About 11.
yeah.
Almost 12, maybe.
I wasn't there full time. I mean, I was there full time. I was still working in Buenos Aires. But
Yeah, I remember that. And, but yeah, you weren't making cheese there. You just had
not even bread. I think it just started with bread.
Yeah, but what were you even doing? Were you even renting out the rooms yet? Or?
Maybe we just started.
I think you just built a couple.
Yeah, we have a couple of tree houses that we rent, and
Ah,
just started with that.
Yeah.
Quit everything. That was my plan B. Just quit because I was managing a hotel in Buenos Aires, and maybe there I quit everything. Said, okay, we're going to build houses, we're going to rent the street, three houses, and that'll be it. And it was. Wow.
uh-huh.
What happened? Like you got bored, or like you just...
Well, I got bored because renting houses is boring in the end, and I started making breads and then making cheese, and the houses came to like a second place.
Yeah.
How much of the project you'll say happens there? How much people go to you and how much you go to people to? Is it's like
Well, more and more I'm bringing people to the farm for
uh-huh.
cheese making and for cheese
Yes.
tastings. We're doing dinners with cheese tastings now, private dinners with cheese tastings, and wine tastings with cheese and main courses too. So we started to do that every month now, and classes, cheese making classes every month, the second month too. So
Hmm.
trying to bring the people to the farm
Yes.
instead of me going out so much because it's
Yeah.
tiring. Traveling
Yeah.
back, I enjoy it, but it's not something I want to do all the time. So and
And
also,
you cannot take all the knowledge with you, whereas if you're there, people go there, they can actually see.
yeah, it's different. You can come to my aging cellars and see the cheeses there and taste them there. We can make smaller groups.
Yeah.
Instead of having 20 people, you have to 8 people learning. You can come for a whole weekend, so we make it cheese several times.
Ah,
So
good.
and it's good because it brings also life to the place.
Yeah. Yeah.
If
It's
you're just going away, the place is just slowly dying. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, but we were talking earlier, like maybe you'll do more events and
yeah,
open it up and just have other kinds of,
yeah,
you know, making.
that's the idea. Yeah,
Yeah, no, I think that'd be cool. I could see a fermentation festival or you know, or not a festival or whatever, like
yeah. But
workshops or.
I'm also talking to some cooks or friends,
Mhm.
chefs or cooks, whatever you want to call
Yeah,
them, to come and do dinners and
yeah,
maybe pasta making
yeah,
classes and bread baking classes, and just open it up more like a center of knowledge,
yeah.
not just cheese.
Right.
So it's slow. The
Yeah,
development of that is slow because we are a tiny team and
Yeah.
we need to develop it, but it's coming. I think it's great, and everything we do there, we can always add cheese to it.
yeah,
So if we make bread, we add cheese. If we make pasta, we add
yeah,
cheese. It's like, and that's I think that's why
Yeah.
the chefs are so happy to come.
yeah.
It's like, hey, yeah,
Plus, there's wine around. It's like it's easy to bring wine.
oh sure,
You know, it's like do wine tastings there. There's wine.
yeah. I'm working closely now with one winery there. It's
Mhm.
Familia Acres, and we're
Okay.
making we're maturing cheeses with wine and
Okay.
some experiments just to play around with them. It's fun, super fun.
I went to Gruyere in Switzerland. It's
Yeah,
the town of Gruyere, and I went to one of the factories, but I couldn't tell how industrialized it is. I don't have that sense of. I mean, I saw they obviously have equipment, and it's very touristic. I couldn't tell. I guess it's like medium, it's it's halfway. It's not completely artisanal, but it's not this huge, it's not a industry. But yeah, I mean, it tasted good, but I don't know. I didn't feel that connection necessarily. It was just, I guess, interesting because the town is called that way, and it's
yeah.
beautiful because it's Switzerland. But yeah, have you heard about it or similar
Well,
place?
yeah, you have Gruyere, and then you have Gruyere d'Alpage, which is the one that is made up the mountains in the
Yeah,
summer.
yeah,
That's another thing. It's like
yeah,
that's not a factory. No, you said I went to this cheese factory. It's like, well, factory for cheese? Shouldn't it be a farm
exactly. Yeah. Well,
or dairy? But I understand what you say. I mean, most cheese now is made in factories. They bring cheese, they bring milk from all over the place.
yeah, it was not a farm. I wouldn't say it's a farm.
No,
Yeah,
yeah, factory.
But like Parmesan, right? Like I've seen photos of like
exactly.
all this cheese, like
Yeah,
warehouses full of it.
yeah, with many cheese
Yeah.
making pots because
Right.
then they need to make only two cheeses by pot.
Okay.
So you have them both. You have them small and big scale. So um, I don't know. You the, just because it's big, it doesn't mean it's bad. But smaller with warmer milk is going to be better
Yeah, yeah,
because as time goes by, with the milk still liquid, it degrades. It
hmm
oxidizes itself. It loses quality for protein and fats and cream. So it's not the same. You can still make good cheese, but it's better if you do it fresh.
better, but not.
I
Yeah,
think at the farm more
yeah,
than
Mhm.
yeah.
it, it's still in France, in Switzerland. Usually, all the regulations for the PDOs they have milk from close to the farm for the same region
Uh
for
huh.
the same reason because it's better for the cheese. If the milk is close and it's just been milked.
Is there something you haven't mastered yet, like a challenge you have, and you are working on it, and you can figure it out?
I'm working in a bigger dairy, maybe to make a little bit bigger cheeses, like going a bit like 25 kilo cheeses instead of 7 kilo cheeses that
Oh,
the biggest we
wow.
make right now.
Yeah.
So that I haven't mastered, and it's going to be you change the scale, everything changes a little bit.
Is
Um,
that common in natural cheese making? That size?
yes, it's a
Okay.
perfect size for an
Okay.
alpine.
Okay.
So
Mhm.
usually that's why Comté is 25
Mm.
kilos and
Okay.
Gruyere is about that size. So it's great for that
Okay.
and to age over 2 years. That's the
Mhm.
size you want.
Yeah.
Um,
But to age for 2 years, that means you need a lot of space. Like
Yes.
bigger cheeses and
yeah,
you
and
know,
a
a
big
lot of longer
ages.
time. Yeah.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do? Like,
Um,
where would you?
we're talking about with this winery. Maybe opening a
Yeah.
new dairy with them
Okay.
at the winery together.
Okay. That'd be cool.
So we're gonna start. I think we're gonna start with them just maturing some of my cheeses, and then if we get along well,
Then you could expand.
we're gonna expand into bigger that. Um, but I don't know. There's always cheeses that you want to make. There's like so many cheeses, so little
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
But to get to a nice cheese, it takes time to develop it. You find these little tricks that make it really good.
I could see a T-shirt with that, like so many cheeses, so little time, and a picture of your face on it. Like you could sell
Okay.
it, give them at like the workshops.
I can see the Rosberg label.
The catchphrase, yeah.
Or a T-shirt you give away to other cheesemakers, so that could be. So there's much cheese all the time.
No, I think in 200 years we'll have the Rosberg label, tradition and, just something like that.
I was asked this trip. I was asked by some series. It's like, well, do you have some sort of certification for natural cheesemaking? Like you have the wines if they're biodynamic or something? And I just said, well, we should have it because otherwise it would just be another sourdough label on things that are not really traditional. I don't know. I have to figure out a way to do it.
In cheese shops, do they ever label if it's
Raw.
natural cheese? It just says raw, or
Yeah, very few cheesemakers make.
but is all raw milk cheese natural?
No,
Okay.
at all. And even artisanal cheeses now are made with
Raw.
industrial techniques,
Okay,
industrial starters.
I see.
Sometimes raw milk, but sometimes it isn't.
Okay,
Most of the artisanal cheese in Argentina and Uruguay is made with pasteurized milk
okay.
and industrial techniques.
So there's really no way of knowing unless you
Ask.
unless you ask.
In the ingredients should say pasteurized milk or raw milk.
Yeah, right.
But even raw milk, you get sometimes if you bring it up to 60 degrees Celsius, which is like a low way of pasteurizing.
Mm-hmm.
It's not pasteurization, but it's close. You can still say it's raw milk. It's not the same thing as the raw milk from the cow right there.
Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So the Swiss have this raw milk. Most of the Swiss cheese is thermized. It brings up to 60 degrees Celsius.
Okay.
You kill all the bacteria.
Okay. So it's probably the shit we saw on the road, like from the places we passed.
Yeah. Raw milk cheese?
Yeah. No, just the raw milk. All the signs for raw milk.
No, that's raw milk.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. This is done to make cheese.
Okay.
How do you study for all this? What are your main sources?
Well, partially with David Asher, who teaches, and he was just in Uruguay with us. We taught together two courses. He was teaching, I was translating. So partially with him, and then just reading books and trying to find videos of old grannies making cheese in Spain or guys making cheese in the low valleys of Sicily, and talking to cheesemakers, just trying to get the tips, because the fermentation is always the same. So you start your make with the milk, you have the starter and the rennet, and then it comes from how to make good cheese. From that, you can cut the curds bigger or smaller, salt it earlier or later, press it or not press it, cook it or not cook it. So you're always trying to figure out exactly how these cheeses were made 150 years ago. So partially it's reading and partially it's just experimenting and see what works for the cheese.
Yeah. And colleagues, right? Just being in touch with colleagues.
Yeah, absolutely. A couple of years ago, I went to teach in Sardinia with Samuel, the cheesemaker from Sinos, and we made pecorino sardo there with him.
Huh.
And I made some other cheeses he wanted to learn, lactic, that they don't make in Sardinia. So from next year, I'll try quite a bit more teaching in Europe, because it's always cool to go and show the British how the French do things, and the Spanish how the Italians do things, because they don't share it so much. And we as Uruguayans or Argentines, we can go and just be as
let's share. Let's.
We have all the cultures.
Mm.
We have no. I'm Danish, Spanish.
We are open. We are open to the world. Yeah.
I mean,
Well, how tell me if I made this up. I have felt that I got some umami flavors when I combine, but it's just like spontaneous, like a piece of cheese with a piece of apple and a nut or something. It's just I don't anticipate it, but there is like this moment in which I feel that wow, this combination was umami, like with involving cheese.
Well,
It's
the cheese already has the umami in it,
uh-huh, okay.
but the combination brings it out to life, like putting
Oh,
the
okay.
wine, because the acidity in the apple that brings up
Ah,
it contrasts with the fats in the cheese, and it brings you that contrast that
oh, so
really.
I didn't make it up.
No, no. It's a good way to appreciate the umami present in the cheese that develops during the aging. Yeah.
Ah, good, good. Okay. I look forward to going. I
Yeah.
really do.
So you like it. Your wife's very
I
nice.
really do. Yeah.
Very.
Yeah, and again, I think I don't know. I mean, I don't know if you have thought about it, but it's just the way in which you communicate the process. It's so educational. I feel that I really learn, and that doesn't have to be, this long text about. No, it can be a paragraph. It can be 3 lines, but you actually learn something, and it's very organic. When they call organic content in social media, it's usually BS. This is organic content for
Well,
me.
people say, well, you should plan your posts and you should. It's like
No,
no,
yeah,
as I
exactly.
feel, and
No.
if I don't post anything for 2 or 3 days, I couldn't. I was doing something else, and
Yeah, and you have thousands of followers, so that's not, that's. What do you think about that, Nick? Like
About what?
that, the way he, for me, is very
No,
special. The way
yeah,
he.
yeah, like just post. No, I actually, it's funny because I actually had him speak to my best culinary social media class that I,
Oh,
that I teach every year. Like what was it, like a year or two ago, right?
yeah, I think so.
Yeah, yeah. Just because I wanted to, like to talk about exactly that he gets engagement on social media because he's not following some weird script or posting
oh,
at
okay. So
2 p.m. every day
yeah,
or
so
whatever. It's kind of random, but it's honest and real.
yeah, it's
And
genuine.
I think ultimately that works, but it's still we were talking today. It's like how fucked up the algorithms are now. It's like it doesn't matter what you do,
Mm.
like it's yeah, just like nothing works anymore.
No, I think there's a core base that
Yeah,
follows everything you do, and
yeah,
they go their way
no,
looking
yeah,
for it.
yeah, right.
But
No,
then
but here's the thing. It's like I think
it's not as wide as it was before.
yeah, I think you could create an audience just by being real and honest
Yeah,
before, but now it's like, and you could grow your audience just by you know actually saying something and showing something interesting. But now it doesn't matter. Like you can't grow it at all. You can show a little bit, some to the people who already watch you,
yeah.
or you. I don't know. I don't know how it works anymore.
I think if you, I mean, it doesn't work for content creators like we are, which are educational. I think it works for dancing and making things that are silly
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and they're short and silly
Right.
and engaged in a way.
Hmm.
Um, I right now I find that I think the things that work the best are when I try to teach something
Yeah.
in short time.
Hmm.
Maybe even a post with a text that talks
Yeah.
about natural ferments
Yeah.
or natural cheeses or natural wine or that works because people want to read it. But
Yeah.
but being just showing your life and that used to be something really good. Now
Hmm.
it's not working anymore. I also share a lot of recipes. I did a lot
Yeah.
of bread recipes for years, and that's something really connects to people.
Hmm.
Yeah. Connect.
you're giving away something for free, and you could write a book instead. You
Yeah,
publish it there.
but then that's the thing. It's like you are giving away something for free to, but you're not giving it. You're giving it to not so much the people. You're giving it to
To Instagram, yeah,
to Instagram, to Meta, to these fucking tech jerk offs that are
to ChatGPT.
to just doing all this shit that's destroying everything else.
Yeah, absolutely. Now I'm trying to do more recipes, but directly to people, so via Substack. Still for free, but I don't know.
What's the name of your Substack again?
It's just my Martin Rosberg Substack, right?
Yeah, how much? So, how many people will you say contact you because of Instagram, and that leads to something else, or they just benefit from the like? It's hard to measure, right? But
I get most of the people from my cheesemaking courses and my dinners and from social media, both Instagram and Twitter. We have a big following too. And it's funny because sometimes I keep on posting the photos of the cheeses we serve for the guests at the tree houses, and some people never wrote to me, never spoke to me.
Yeah.
And one day, someone say, "Okay, I'm sick of seeing this and not being able to taste it. I'm coming over for a weekend. I want to have dinner. We're there." They'll just listen to you and reading and come to you. They talk like they were friends. They know you, but you don't know them. It's very, very special, very weird.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of the people I can get today to come to my events come from there. Yeah, most of them.
Yeah, it's still valuable that people are interested in a better flavor, right? And they get attracted to that. Like you can tell in pictures that it's different, right? It's a different quality.
Yeah.
And
Excuse me.
bless you.
Bless you. Yes, I think you can still do that. Nowadays I see it more in X or Twitter, whatever we call it, that people say, "Oh, the best time of my day in Twitter is when I go and look for your posts about food. There's no politics. There's no
Exactly. There is
just
something
food and wine and
about
just
it.
enjoying life and cooking, baking bread." And I used to tell
Yeah, it's
people,
a
turn
spirit.
off the TV, turn on the oven, cook something. You're gonna be much happier than if you're watching TV or watching TikTok videos. Just turn off the phone and just cook something.
No, I think social media works better like that.
Yeah.
Because it's like I think once politics enter the conversation on social media, that's when it starts. The algorithm starts pushing you in one way or the other, and enraging you. But but at some point, it's like you can't not say anything. You can't just turn off the news, and especially like the shit that's going on now.
No,
but at the same time, it's like
you can go back to the old ways. Read the paper in the morning, and then the rest of the day you can enjoy yourself and do something about it.
Exactly. I don't think
I mean, like participating in the conversation. Though it's like I've tried to stay away of posting about politics because I know it doesn't do anything. It's just feeding it to the same people that already know.
Yeah.
That what Israel is doing in Palestine is wrong. It's like I'm not reaching anyone else.
No.
By posting on fucking
Instagram. Changing anyone's mind.
Yeah, I'm not changing anyone's mind. It's just creating division on an algorithm so this tech company can make money.
Yeah.
That's it. So if I'm going to have those conversations, it's going to be through writing, not on social media, wherever, or in person.
I think we should do more in person.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Well, you get that engagement in the workshops too. But what I like about it is like it's not denying reality. It doesn't feel like their Instagram stuff that are like, let's pretend nothing it happened, and it feels so fake. This is part of life, and this is a side of life to enjoy, to learn, to get into something seriously and honestly. So it doesn't clash or denies anything, and that's why I find it so.
No, but it's like at times I do feel weird though if I'm not speaking out of something like on social media, and it's like. Like I feel weird just posting about, the things I'm eating or the things I'm doing in my garden when, there's ice raids everywhere. It seems like you're denying that thing's that that's happening if you're not speaking about it.
Yeah, I stopped being so much in social media to engage, but just I try to live a better life now without
Yeah, yeah. No,
engaging.
like I think
And
you have to. It's
I
just,
share what I'm doing that day,
yeah,
but it's not planned to share. It's just
yeah,
like,
yeah,
oh, maybe people would like this recipe of whatever I'm
yeah.
doing. Maybe it's a vinaigrette. It's a simple vinaigrette that you put in a glass and
Right, right.
in a glass jar and you
Yeah.
shake it. So maybe people would like this, but it's not about getting away from it. But I'm stopping to reading all this because it really takes energy from me and
No, of course, no. That's the thing. I'm
makes
just
me
saying. It's
sad.
like I'm conflicted always because
Yeah,
it's like I feel like like it feels weird to just post other things when all that shit is going on. But you still have to post the other things. It's like I've come to the realization to where you still got to post about the good shit, and it doesn't matter how much the social media politics isn't helping anyone.
Oh,
You
I
just
totally get what you're saying, Nick, because I mean, here today, for the
yeah.
last 3 days in LA, it's just
Yeah, are
like,
you okay, Julie? By the way, you all right?
no. And we are talking about this. I'm like thinking, should I take my passport with me or not?
Yeah,
Yeah, it is. I know what you mean, but at the same time, I think it's indirectly helping the cause, sending the message of we can create community
yeah.
in healthy ways,
No,
in more
totally.
sustainable ways. And so that's why I think it doesn't clash. I get what you're saying, but I think it's helping in a different way. It's
No,
helping.
no, I totally agree. Like, I wrote about this like a few months ago on Substack with
Yeah.
tamales.
Yeah.
Uh,
But yeah, I mean, tell me about it. This
yeah, but
food is in flames again for different
yeah,
reasons. So
but it's hard. But it's just like you have to choose. Like,
And we have our own fight behind good food and
yeah,
yeah,
getting away from ultra processed foods and getting people to cook
yes,
again. That's
yeah.
also for the greater good.
yeah, of course.
And you know,
Arguing about cocina de autor.
yeah, arguing about cocina del toro.
What do you think of that phrase?
The concept, you mean?
Cocina de autor.
I'm sick of this.
The concept, you
This
mean? Yeah.
menus. This chef they do cocina de autor, or this jam is quesos quesos de autor and mermeladas de autor. Everything is de autor.
I
So
know. It's silly. No, it's
when you
silly.
sit in a little lemon zest to your pasta, it's not the autor. It's just you're cooking like they've doing it
Yeah,
for
right,
thousands
like
of years.
yeah.
You learn from many other
Yeah.
people. It's not the autor. It's
And you
all,
know what I realized? I mean, as many labels, it's just once you use the labels, it loses the meaning of
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
So there is that. But when I was editing a magazine in Colombia, and I have writers, working on articles, they use those kind of things because they go to that commonplace. And I said, "What do you mean by cocina de autor?
yeah.
Tell me." And their explanation was actually pretty good. So I said, "That's what you need to write. Get
Yeah,
rid of the label,
yeah.
because
Yeah,
chances are you are trying to say something that is interesting. So just forget the author thing, and maybe you'll get to a better place."
describe what
Something
he does.
like
Yeah.
I just need to describe how he combines ingredients.
that.
That's right.
Exactly. Yeah.
He or she, yeah, whatever, yeah, of course.
That's more impressive. You don't need the label. You don't need
You don't
talking.
need
And
to-
the author, yeah, it's just silly. It really is
But
silly.
there isn't a label like that in English, is there?
A signature, maybe?
Yeah, but no,
Yeah,
no, you wouldn't say
no,
that.
you wouldn't say it for.
Well, signature dishes, or
Yeah, but that's like the main dishes of the place. That my
But
signature cheese.
are,
Uh,
are
yeah.
you saying, Nick, that we are more narcissistic than you guys are? That's what you.
I think it sells, but we've got a good time. So
No, but you're right. But they say, I mean, so when they want to emphasize the chef, how would you say they do it then? Because they do.
very creative chef
Yeah.
combines French, Spanish, and I don't know
Yeah.
Indian techniques.
Who made this thing up? The author thing.
I don't
Probably in
know.
Spain.
It's not like you're a writer. It's not
I'm sure it's from Spain. Like,
From Spain, yeah.
I'm
It
sure it
has
came up
from
in
Spain.
Spain in
the same molecular,
yeah,
the same
yeah,
molecular.
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
I'm sure it did, but it probably made sense, with El Bulli
At the
when it
time.
came out, or
Yeah,
but
yeah,
now it's like, whatever guy, putting lemon zest on his pasta is like,
Yeah,
that's not exactly right.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
just cocina.
Yeah, you're
Just
not
cocina.
Ferran Adria because by doing it. Yeah,
Just cocina de un humano.
you're just cooking.
Yeah,
It's like,
cocina de humano.
He's
Actually,
human. Yeah,
yeah.
human.
unless you're a writer. If you're a writer,
What?
published writer, then you can say cocina de autor.
Cocina.
Because you're,
Right.
Borges or something.
Yeah.
Ah, yeah.
That's
It's
what I think.
really nice. Well, so you'll keep doing your workshops. We'll go there. We'll be happy. And what else? And maybe we'll stay.
You come to Uruguay, yes, of course. Or maybe we meet on one of my workshops in Europe next year. Yeah.
Ah,
You got it.
Oh, I have the plan to go this September. I'm going to Italy and Spain. And then November, Germany, Berlin for Cheese Berlin.
huh.
Cheese Berlin. What happens
Cheese
at
Berlin.
Cheese Berlin?
There's a cheese.
Yeah. How
one,
is this?
one day cheese festival in Berlin every November.
Is this
How is
like
the cheese
opera?
situation there?
It's like a market full of cheesemakers,
Okay.
and there's talks and cheesemaking courses and stuff.
Okay.
I'm gonna come. I'm gonna do a workshop before. I think the week before, nearby Berlin.
Is there like a natural cheese fairs like that?
No.
Like raw wine, but raw cheese.
Yeah. Well, the one in Bra by Slow Food in
Okay.
September this year goes. It's every second year. It's the biggest for raw milk. It's not just
Okay.
raw milk, but it's mostly raw milk.
Uh-huh.
But we go there. The natural cheesemakers is like the small table of 10 people.
Okay.
Well, they're cool guys. And people want to taste our cheese.
Okay.
But it's just
Yeah.
a few of us.
Okay.
Peter Dixon from here, and
Uh-huh.
just a few cheesemakers. And then UK. I think I'm going to be in UK in March,
Okay.
and then
You
Asia
meet up
in
with-
June next year.
Meet up with Max Jones.
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
I want to see him in September now.
Yeah, okay. Cool.
He's setting up a workshop there too, I think, for
Nice.
us to teach.
Cool.
Ah, so you are on tour.
Yeah, my youngest is leaving home at my house by the end of the year, so I need to, be free again and
Yeah.
plan
Yeah,
different things for my life too, because I stopped having kids at home, so they grown up. So now I can travel with no problem.
Yeah, you can. I have a question. What do you think in different countries people use cheese in a different way? That it has a different purpose?
Yeah, absolutely. But that's true of all foods. But in Europe, the cheese is more seasonal. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
the fresh cheese is in the summer, and the hard cheese is more in autumn and winter and spring. And in the US, you have a cheese platter has to have everything, hard and soft, and at any time of the year, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if it's summer or winter. So I think cheese in many countries is a staple food, something we take for granted, and
Yeah.
in other countries is a luxury.
Huh. Yeah.
Some people eat cheese every day. Some people eat cheese only for Christmas.
So it's really different.
So it's really different. Yeah.
Some
Yeah.
people just melt it on everything.
Yeah. Some people just eat slices that are made with chemicals
Yeah.
and not.
Yeah.
So it's just.
I think that's how Colombia is, by the way. We put cheese in everything.
Yes, and you make you make cheese if you're at a farm. You make cheese even for each lunch.
Yeah.
It's fresh. Yeah.
Yes. It's like
what do you think about vegan cheeses, like nut cheese? Like, have you ever had any that you like?
I never had any.
Oh, yeah, really?
No, but just because I didn't have them in front of me, because
Yeah.
I would taste them. I'm not
Right.
against them. I don't think calling them cheeses is
Fair
good.
enough. Yeah. But,
But I have to taste them to tell you
Yeah,
what I
okay.
think in terms of flavor. I
Right.
hear that some people making some nice things with
Yeah, yeah.
fermented.
right.
I don't think we'll get to the depth
Right, of course not. No.
real milk is.
Yeah.
But
Well, without thinking much, guys, the two of you, what would you say is your favorite cheese right now, without thinking?
Uh, Usually the last one I managed to create it the way I want. That's
Cheese?
like my last kid. It's like my last son.
Why is your last baby?
Yeah, the last baby is the cutest, right? Right? Then they grow up.
And
But
what is the last one?
it's a cheese I made following a Spanish technique. So
Oh,
2 years ago, I went to Spain and I presented my cheeses to a group of cheesemakers there. And we talked about the techniques and how they were made. And then each of them presented their own cheese.
yeah.
And they talk about how they make it and how they made them and how what techniques they use and the temperature of cooking and all this stuff. And it got to the point where a Galician man presented the cheese and said, "Well, this cheese is really simple. It just made itself." He didn't give any idea of how it was made. And when we asked him, he said, "Oh, it's simple. It's very simple. It's so simple, so simple." So I started thinking about this, and when I got back to the dairy, I started making tests and trying to recreate this cheese that I knew nothing about.
Hmm.
Going back to studying about old Spanish cheeses, and I made this cheese called Simple, of course. And I really like it. It's like in the style of Gamonero style, so it's dry and very well aged. Has some glue inside it too. It's very
Huh.
buttery in your mouth and meaty and reminds you of cooked mushrooms. I'm
Oh,
tasting today.
Okay, great.
So that's my
oh,
favorite right now.
okay. And you call it simple.
Simple, yeah. And I'll
What
tell you
about you,
more.
Nick?
Because at the end of the night, that same cheesemaker
Yeah.
came to me and said, "Well, I want to know how you make your alpines." I said, "What do you mean?" "Well, if you how you salt them, you do better." And I said, "Well, you didn't say anything about your cheeses." And he was like, "No. These cheesemakers are really good. They're gonna copy. They're gonna copy." And he just walked away. So I have to do this. You know, I
Yeah.
have to copy you. Now
Yeah,
that you know,
of
Insisted.
course.
insisted on
Yeah.
I'm not getting copied. Now I have to copy you.
It's like,
Wow, that's great.
all right. Do I have a favorite cheese right now? I don't know. Like, there's a lot of good Connecticut cheesemakers.
Mhm.
Like, and I find them in the shops kind of near where I am
Mm.
because I'm right on the border. Like, we can see Connecticut. I can actually
All
point
right.
out that
Yeah,
Connecticut's right over there. It's my neighbors because I'm on the state line.
yeah.
Um, but I had one that like I bought the other day. This is just the last cheese I bought from Arethusa Dairy. I think that's the name of it. It's pretty well known.
What is it again?
Ara- Arethusa Dairy. I might be saying
Mhm.
it wrong, but I had a nice Alpine cheese that had like a kind of like a hard rind with a lot of like shit on it. I don't know what it was, but it like had this like nice kind of grassy herbal flavor, but not too strong, very mild. And it was just a beautiful cheese. I should have
Mhm.
taken a photo of it because look, it's gone now. Maybe there's just a tiny bit in there. I'll have to look. You can try it.
Yeah.
But
Mhm.
yeah, they have a lot of like cheeses. There's a lot of good Connecticut cheesemakers, right? That I have access to. The New York side, I don't know. Do you know much about that? Is there a lot of New York cheesemaking, like upstate?
No,
Or there's not, right?
I don't know.
It's more Connecticut, Vermont.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay,
Mhm.
I think so.
Mhm.
yeah. We were
Hmm.
gonna go on a cheese trip once because it was like what 4 years ago, 5 years ago,
2020.
2020.
Yeah.
And he was coming up to do. Were you taking a
I
class?
was taking a class.
He was taking a
visiting
cheese
dairies
class and visiting dairies, and I was like, okay, I'll come with you. And then the pandemic happened, like right that day. Like he was here, he stayed at my apartment in
Oh,
Brooklyn,
so were you
and
stuck or?
like literally the day like
I
New
arrived
York
on,
shut down.
yeah, I
Yeah,
arrived on March 11th.
Ah,
So it started to shut down.
yeah. So and like everything was canceled suddenly, and then,
and
like
what did you do?
Yeah.
How did you get somewhere else?
Well, I just took the flight the day before they closed everything.
Huh? The last flight.
Before
How
the
many
16th,
people took the
the
last
17th, they closed everything. Otherwise, I would have stayed here for 3 or 4 months. I don't know. A long
yeah,
time.
probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That happened to many people on the last flight. It happened to me too. I
Yeah.
moved somewhere else the day before the pandemic started.
Yeah.
And I got stuck there for months, but it was a good, I guess, situation in
Where
the end.
were you? Were you in Colombia or where?
I was moving, yeah, at the time I was moving from Bogota to Cali, and literally everything shut down the day after.
Yeah, okay.
And I was stuck there for three
You
months.
stuck in Bogota or Cali?
Cali.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, weird. But well, my favorite is manchego.
Okay.
Definitely. I love it. I mean, for from the ones I have tried, which is I guess 5% of the cheeses of the world, or two, I don't know.
If you go to Madrid, you should go to this cheese shop called Formaje
Oh,
and try
okay.
the manchego they have there. It's really, really, really nice.
Ah,
It's another
huh.
level.
I'll write that down.
Yeah,
Yeah, I love it. It's just I don't know what is it, but my favorite
it's
from the
nice.
ones I know. Do you
Ship's
like
milk.
it? You have
Ship's
one, right?
milk. Ship's
Yeah,
milk. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So you like pecorino, sardo, pecorino? Yeah, you like it. You like all of it. That's all ship's milk.
That spectrum of cheeses, that
Yeah,
gamma.
yeah, yes. Yeah, I think you like pecorino better than manchego even. The real pecorino sardo.
Ah,
Super interesting. Yeah, you like it.
well,
All right.
thank
Well,
you. That makes
yeah.
the situation here better too.
What's that?
It makes the situation better here too, because not the you know not the easiest day in LA again.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I like. Yeah.
Yeah,
Cheese makes every situation better. I
Yes.
guess.
exactly. Yeah.
But no, like I like this setup. This is kind of cool. I think we could. This can work.
Yeah, just invite everyone, Nick, to your barn,
But
and then
you were just in New York. Like you could have. If we
I
could have timed
know
this a little better, we could have all three been here.
it was so short and last minute, but yeah.
I'd
My
have to get like another camera somewhere and like.
my son is living in New York, and it was his 21 beer day, so I had to go last minute and spend time with him. But I went for 3 4 days, 3 days. So, but yeah, next time.
Yeah.
Next time.
All right. Well,
Come
but
back.
we know that it works here in the barn. I guess I'll see when I process everything.
I'm
But,
so jealous of your office situation. Maybe then being a dairy.
nah, I don't think I can start a dairy here. No, but I could see making cheeses. Like
Ah,
for
you see,
personal.
that's how we started.
No, I think no. Yesterday driving and seeing all the dairies that really aren't that far. Like within 45 minutes. There's probably some closer. It just happened to be where we were driving. There was raw milk
Yeah.
all over the place.
Yeah.
Science there. And
Huh.
yeah, I could work with that. You know, maybe.
You should.
Yeah, next year you come, I'll go to the class.
Yeah, should.
Yeah.
Enjoy it. And then
One
you
thing
think
is
about it. I have many students that make cheese just for the pleasure of it.
Yeah,
And some of them are like, well, cheese changed my life because I can go there, make cheese, and everybody
Yeah.
else is.
yeah. No, I like doing things on my property. Like as you can tell, like it built the garden up.
Yes.
What do you think I should be doing here? Like,
it is.
what would you do? Like you see my house, we worked in the garden.
Well, I told you, chickens is a good one.
Chickens, yeah.
Huh.
Fire pit.
I have a fire pit, yeah, but I need to set it up better to where I have a proper cooking fire pit. This is more like
Yeah.
bonfire kind of thing.
Cooking fire pit.
Yeah.
Cheesemaker is good too. Get people together to cook meat on the grill.
Hmm. Yeah. Now I could even see like holding some like underground dinners here, like regularly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I would want to do it downstairs of this barn, which is just like it's a ping pong table and storage in the winter. But I could see setting it up in a way to where I could do something interesting. But I would need a
You are
map.
a great cook too, Nick. So
What's that?
you are a great cook. So
You think so? I don't know about that.
I know. Yeah.
But I could make something interesting just with things that I forage and things that I grow and preserve.
Exactly. Yeah.
So I could figure something out
Yeah.
with what I have here that could be interesting that's not around here. I don't know, but I think it'll be a little while. This is like in the back of my head in 5 years maybe. Yeah, and if I had some cheeses, it'd be great. I could,
Exactly.
yeah. And
Nothing goes and give
I make ice
give
creams.
a workshop from your barn.
Well, it could be a workshop here,
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like downstairs, I could put in a kitchen and do some things.
Nice.
But
Yeah.
yeah. Nice.
maybe one day.
See?
Cool. All right. Okay.
Thanks
I
for
think it's
inspiring
good.
us. And again, congratulations for the way you are communicating all this. It's really great.
Thank you. Thank you. It's always good to have encouragement. Too.
Wow. It is true. I mean, feels that way.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
All right.
I'm glad you joined.
All right, Julie. I'm gonna stop it.
Yeah.
But this was cool. Like I like it because it's
Yeah.
all your it's funny. I don't know. It's just like I feel almost like you're interviewing us in a way. Like in a way that's not it takes pressure off of me, I think.
I like it. I love it.
Okay,
Yeah, it worked
cool.
pretty well.
Yeah. All right, cool. All right, I'm gonna stop the recording. Bye everyone.